So the Chicago Bears, they just added a do-it-all weapon for this offense tonight. We're all watching to see if the Bears would add their own Jahmyr Gibbs or Sam Laporta for this new offense and for head coach Ben Johnson. Ashton Jeanty, he goes to the Raiders. I was a little disappointed in there, but I thought for sure it was going to be Tyler Warren when the Bears came up to pick. But the Bears pivoted. They went to Colston Loveland out of the University of Michigan. Upon further examination, I think it's just a ridiculously good pick, and it actually gives our new head coach a versatile chess piece to fit into what his plans are for this offense. I'm going to trust him. And many had him as the number one tight end in this whole draft. He stands at 6'5". He weighs 245 pounds. I'm going to go through a few ways that he may be a much better pick for the Chicago Bears over Tyler Warren. Some of you might disagree, but before I cut into this, I just want to highlight something. We have Mongo passing away yesterday. Love and prayers to his family. During his memorial, the Green Bay fan base actually booed the whole time through it. Like, just a classless display, and it further reinforces that hating Green Bay is right. I'm not going to argue that it's wrong. We're all going to be able to root against the Green Bay Packers with way more energy and a feeling of rightness. So let's make sure we do that energetically this year. Just a classless display. So let's kind of get into this. The Chicago Bears, they selected tight end Colston Loveland with the 10th overall pick in this 2025 NFL draft. And we're looking last year. Michigan had a ton of quarterback struggles after, their quarterback went pro to the Minnesota Vikings last year. But Loveland still posted career highs in receptions with 56, touchdowns 5, while also totaling 582 receiving yards. The guy's from Idaho. He appeared in 39 games across 3 seasons at the University of Michigan. Just really balled out. Once again, 6'5", 245 pounds. He caught 117 passes in his career for 1,466 yards, 11 touchdowns, and also a national championship. That was in 2023. And during that season, he was Michigan's second leading receiver, racking up 45 catches for 649 yards, 4 touchdowns in 15 games. If you cut into this player, he's a playmaker as a pass catcher. He really gives quarterback Caleb Williams another weapon in this passing game. And here's what USA Today's Ayrton Osley had to say. Loveland's mix of size, 6'5", 240 plus pounds, and athleticism fits better in the NFL than in college. He's an experienced route runner who can create mismatches against defenses. Now let's get to the meat of this. Let's go through an argument for Loveland over Warren. I want to present this. I'm still on the fence with this, but I want to present it. If we're looking at Tyler Warren, he put together one of the best statistical seasons that we've ever seen from a major college tight end last season, right? 104 catches, 1,200 plus yards, 8 scores, and he was the focal point for the Nittany Lions offense. They made it to the doorstep of winning a national championship. And ever since he won the John Mackey Award for the nation's best tight end, he seemed to be a no-brainer, slam dunk choice in this draft class as the first tight end off the board. Okay, let's examine why he wasn't. Because we've got Colston Loveland. He's younger, he's more athletic, similar production in college when you control for his environment, for his quarterback situation. And he takes that mantle. He takes that mantle in this analysis. He accounted for a higher percentage of Michigan's passing offense last year than Warren did. That's eye-opening. This isn't about raw numbers versus adjusted stats. We're looking at this as scouts, what the Bears scouts saw in him. And I think it's about projection here because Warren quite obviously had plug-and-play type ability. But there's some red flags about him that haven't been talked about during this offseason. And 3 of those red flags are his age, his frame, and yes, his explosiveness. If you look at these 3 aspects, this is why many scouts had Loveland, not Warren, as the tight end 1 in this draft. So let's go to all 3 of these traits. All 3 of them go clearly over in Loveland's way in head-to-head competition. So we've got an age comparison here. Warren, he's 23 next month. Loveland only turned 21 at the beginning of this month. That's 2 more years of physical development than Warren. That Loveland is still able to have. Warren was Loveland's age. When they were the same age, he caught 10 passes for 123 yards as a backup at 21. So we're kind of looking at a developmental difference here. Everyone's developmental curve is different. There's no knowing how he's going to progress for sure. But evaluators usually prefer the younger prospect, and that's Loveland here. Warren's frame. It might be the least important here, but it's worth noting he's one of the few players that you're ever going to see on a football field with a shorter wingspan at 6 feet 4.5 inches than his height at 6'5". It was the smallest wingspan of all the tight ends measured at the combine. Now, you can argue that that's not only going to show up in his ability to have his catch radius be NFL ready, but also as a blocker in the run game. If we're going to ding a left tackle for having short arms, we should do the same for an inline blocking tight end for when he lines up in that area. And this kind of speaks to our new head coach's thought, no block, no rock. Warren isn't a great run blocker. He isn't a great pass blocker. And he was rarely asked to take on defensive ends in line. It's the wingspan. We never really got a good wingspan measurement on Loveland. His arm was in a sling during the combine. But if you go to further earlier measurements, his arms were a full inch at least longer than Warren's. And if we go by all these arm length projections when we were talking about Will Campbell, this definitely makes a difference. And I think this pick, it has Ben Johnson's name written all over it. Johnson just got his Sam Laporta in Loveland. Everybody expected Penn State tight end Tyler Warren to be picked. He was still on the board. If anything, I think the Bears really missed a trade down opportunity with the Indianapolis Colts. They had a clear need at tight end. The Bears could have easily taken advantage of that. They chose not to. Just kind of something that I noticed. They ended up going with Loveland. If we listen to Jeff King from the Chicago Bears on Loveland, this is what he had to say. Tough, smart, he has a presence, competitive, all the things we're trying to build here. He encompasses that as a person, and he fits into what head coach Ben Johnson demands from his players. No block, no rock. He's a willing and effective run blocker. You can't argue with that. He can come into an offense. He can help create soft edges for the running backs immediately so they can attack in the wide zone game. He does a great job working off the line of scrimmage into the second level of the defense and on the perimeter to defensive backs. And there are many voices that rated Loveland above Warren. Obviously, the Bears agreed. Now, Ben Johnson, he said he was going to build this offense from the studs out. It's not going to be the same as what he did for the Lions. And Loveland, he might very well be the versatile weapon that he had in Sam Laporta, in Jahmyr Gibbs, a guy that can be all moved around all over in the offense. And Marquee Sports, they had a really cool angle on this, and I'm just going to quote. When Ben Johnson said why he drafted Jahmyr Gibbs, why he drafted Sam Laporta, he said he didn't look at them as a running back and a tight end. He looked at them as offensive weapons. So when I look at Tyler Warren, when I look at Colston Loveland, when I even look at the running back that we might be drafting tomorrow, I think maybe he looks at Colston Loveland as an offensive weapon and the preferred guy to place into this offense to really fit what his plan is. You can't argue that he's a versatile choice. He can operate as a traditional inline or pass-catching move tight end in both the run and the passing game. That versatility, it's going to help him. It's going to help NFL offensive coordinators for the Bears create a game plan for him within this offense. He can run routes from any alignment. Now, Gibbs, Laporta, they were successful in Detroit due to the ability Johnson had to work them in tandem with another tight end and with David Montgomery. A complement of styles, just think about Loveland blended in with Cole Kmet. The impact of Loveland in this offense, the guy can be put anywhere on the field. He can block his butt off. He can run the whole route tree. He can line up as a traditional tight end. He can be split out wide. The Bears can run 12 personnel all day. And the defense is now looking at DJ, Rome, Kmet, and now Loveland. Just a wide body target. And if you look at Ben Johnson, it's no surprise that he went tight end here. He ran the most 12 personnel looks in the whole NFL during last season and during his time in Detroit. So he's a perfect mind to implement both tight ends into the game plan each week at a high level. I mean, come on. Let's give this a chance here. Me at the outset, I was really surprised. I thought Tyler Warren was the pick. But now kind of doing a little more analysis, a little more research into Colston Loveland, this very well might have been the right pick. At Michigan, his catch radius was sick. He was a guy in the field that was always open, always finding the hole in the zone. And if you really look at what he did for the team, especially during this national championship year, he was absolutely the stabilizer in the offense at Michigan. And now he's a Chicago Bear. Loveland playing in Ben Johnson's offense, I think it's going to be incredible, mixing him around in various formations. And it really shouldn't have much of an impact on Cole Kmet. My friend was texting me. He has Cole Kmet in fantasy. He's like, oh, great. That's not good. But I think they're going to be equally used as weapons in the Chicago Bears offense. And now we don't have to look so hard for a number 3 receiver. We brought some speed guys in that I think are going to blend in really nicely. And also look at maybe on day 3, the Chicago Bears adding a wide receiver, as we had several in for top 30 visits. You guys let me know in the comments. What do you think of this pick? I don't want to blindly say every pick is absolutely fantastic. Granted, I was on the Tyler Warren bandwagon for their pick at number 10 overall, but let's give this a chance and trust the scouting, and most of all, trust new head coach Ben Johnson. He definitely must have had him as his guy that he needed over Warren, so he's going to decide how to use him. You guys bear down, and we'll talk tomorrow. See ya.